Welcome to the Art of Balancing It All podcast, a podcast where we get real about the struggles of trying to balance it all from love, family, self-care, career, and entrepreneurship.
Every 2 weeks, we'll talk to dope guests who will give you the goods on how to succeed in this thing called life.
We are your hosts. I'm Pam Thompson-Smith, better known as The Firm.
And I'm Titi Lyle Ellis, the ambassador of Buzz.
Hello. You are listening to The Art of Balancing It All, and I am Pam Thompson-Smith, also known as The Firm.
And I am Titi Lyle Ellis, also known as your Joy Builder Coach. Hello.
Hey, lady. How are you?
I am so good, and I am extra excited to have the guest that we have on today. We're just having her on. Probably should have had her on for some time. Right. We are excited to welcome Shabowanna Wilson, who is multifaceted to say the least. She is the owner of Nevaeh Designs hair salon, and she also owns We Do Wraps, and she is co-founder of Prince and Princess for a Day. And on top of that, she's also a mom, a friend to many, and a staple in this community in Raleigh. And Shabowanna is also part of the Pipin' Hot podcast, where she is co-host. So join us in welcoming to the show Miss Shabowanna, who we lovingly call Shab. And let's bring her on.
There she is, finally. I didn't hear that loud enough. Hey,
you guys.
Yes. How are you?
I'm great. How are you all?
We are so good. We are so good. Thank you so much for joining us. We are excited to have you on here. And we certainly would like to learn more, even though we learned a lot about you, but we want to learn more about your story.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
About the many hats that you wear.
Woo, it's a lot of those.
Man. And I've known you so long now, I don't even remember how long.
Yeah, it's been years.
Naya was probably little.
Yeah, probably 15 or more.
Exactly. So long that I say Shab, I don't even say the name of the salon.
It's okay.
But I know who to call when I'm trying to get cute. That's all.
That part.
But tell us. So we start with the salon because that's like your base, and then everything else ventured from that. So tell us a little bit about how that started and how you moved to the next venture.
Gotcha. So I'm 3 years old. My mom tells this story all the time. 3 years old. I've always played in hair. As a teenager, I've always said I was going to do hair. So I would have people come to the house. I would do their hair. My mom's hair always stayed laced, of course. So over time and just through the years, it's always something I love doing. I love to see people beautiful and they're excited about their hair once I finish. So I ended up going to Cheryl's first, right after I graduated from high school. So I started in Cheryl's and then I didn't finish. So over time, still doing hair in the house, going to people's house, traveling. It was just one of those things where it was always a passion for me, always a love. So I ended up going to Mitchell's because I said, I know how to do our hair, African-American hair, but I wanted to be able to do whoever's hair could sit in my chair. So Dominican, white, black, it didn't matter. So I wanted to learn the cutting process, the coloring. So I ended up going to Mitchell's and I graduated in 2010. So that was like the beginning of my journey with doing hair. Finally, being able to get out of hair school. It seemed like it took forever, but it's just a passion that I've always had. And then I went and started a kiddie salon. So this was actually before I graduated, but I did a kiddie salon because you didn't have to have a license at that time to do just natural hair and just braids. So it was called Kiddie Styles. I had a business partner and we just did children's hair. And so that's what my love for children kind of festered. And I always knew I wanted to do things with children. So that's kind of how Prince and Princess for a Day kind of evolved. So all of this is kind of like hand in hand, washing over one hand. So I've been in the salon 8 years here. So it's just been an experience. It's been well-deserved, long time coming. A lot of challenges, a lot of ups and downs, as we all know as entrepreneurs, business owners. But once I did finally get the salon, Nevaeh Designs, which means beautiful designs, because I don't just do hair, as you all know. I sell clothes and jewelry and pocketbooks. And So I just wanted something that could encompass everything that I did, and it wasn't just secluded to one thing. So
Okay.
that's how Nevaeh Designs came about. And so Prince and Princess for a day, I started off just doing Princess for a day because I had all the girls coming to me getting their hair done for pageants and stuff. So I was doing just the Princess for a day, and I was like, I really need to incorporate the young men, but I didn't have a male figure at the time, which
Okay.
Rob and I kind of intertwined and made it Princess and Prince for a day. So that's kind of that story of that. While I was at Nevaeh Designs, the building next door to me became available. So talked to the landlord, ended up getting that, and that's when I opened up Jerry's Event Center.
Okay.
Jerry's Event Center was sentimental to me because my grandma was very family oriented. She liked to get everyone together, make sure everybody's happy, fed, always smiling, laughing. So that's how Jerry's Event Center came about. But it was also great for Prince and Princess for a day because now we had a home to, go to instead of always renting a place to go. So
Yeah.
that was that. Then that's how I became with YM4C. They intertwined and they needed a place and we had a place. And so everything kind of, again, coincides and goes together. And then we go to...
And let people know what YM4C is.
So Young Men for Christ is a organization, a nonprofit organization that, well, we can't just say Young Men for Christ anymore because we did young women as well over COVID. So we were doing stuff virtually, but we do a lot of self-awareness, self-motivating, and helping a hope just in the community, hands-on in the community, helping the young men to become young men. And like back in the day, we used to have mentors. Had people, so a lot of kids now don't have that. So that's kind of a big mentoring program for the young men now.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm talking a lot.
You do a lot. You gotta talk about it.
Right. So with all of that also comes we do wraps, my head wrap line. So right before COVID, it's something I was supposed to release probably about 4 years ago, but I didn't. But right before COVID, I did release my bonnet line. So that's what had kept me most of it through COVID, which I'm grateful that God told me to release it when he did because he knew what was coming.
Yes.
Right.
So part of being an entrepreneur, I tell people all the time, entrepreneurship is a continual faith walk, right? But through COVID, we've learned, through COVID, we've learned it to really be a faith. It's a difference where I got 10 clients this week and I'm going to make this, that, and the third. But through COVID, you didn't know that.
You didn't.
For me, even selling the bonnets and stuff over COVID, it was just God showing that I really have your back. I'm truly your provider. I'm truly who you need to depend and support, who supports you in what you're doing. As long as you do what I tell you to do, the visions that you have, move forward, and he's got our back. Like I'm a firm believer that God has our back no matter what. I've been here 8 years, and 8 is new beginnings. So some things are being shifted and moved, and so I believe that God is doing a new thing in all of us, especially coming out of COVID. Or I know we're still in it, but just coming out. But we all have realized a lot during this time. So
yes, we have. Yes, we
Absolutely.
have. Wow. So you are a mom. We talked about you being an entrepreneur. You also are a praise and worship member.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're a community change maker, which we talked about. All of these things.
Yes.
What were some of the struggles along the way? And did you ever just want to throw in the towel as you were doing all of this? Talk to us about
and
it.
we throw it in right now. No, I mean reality. No.
Yeah.
So I'll go to, because most people know my story, but for those that don't, me being a mom. So let's start there. That's the first struggle that I had to truly endure. So at the age of 19, I was raped. And so my daughter is a product of my rape. Okay. So it's something that is always a challenge, even though I did the therapy and all of that. It's still a challenge to have to be able to provide for a person and you don't know the other half, or they go through life, and as they get older they have things that they go through and you're like, is that your daddy's side? So that's something that for me was hard. I tried to kill myself twice. A lot of people don't, like, I haven't really shared like my full story because I really wanted to do a documentary as opposed to a book. which
Yeah.
is another reason why I joined Piping Hot Podcast, because I wanted to get used to talking in front of a camera, because
Okay.
I'm the background person. Put me in the background, I'll execute everything you need. But when
Mm-hmm.
you put me out front, I'm like, So that was one of the reasons I wanted to do that, to to bring awareness to it. It's a difference. I know it is hard if you've been raped, but if you've been raped and you've had to have a child, because I found out too late that I couldn't abort her, but so to have a child and you have to deal with that for
Yes.
the years raising, so that for me was a big struggle in the beginning, of wanting to throw in the towel, wanting to give up. However, my daughter's 23 now, so, she's coming into her own, and now I have to deal with her thoughts on things and how she feels about
Yeah.
it. And so, so it's still,
It's a
it's not
continuous
as hard of a
journey.
struggle. Yeah, it's still a journey, but it's not
Yeah.
as hard of a struggle, which is a good thing. Also with entrepreneurship, just wanting to give up and not do it because people don't have your back like you might have theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or you do so much and you feel like people, it's not there, so they don't care as much as you do.
Yeah.
So that's always something in the back of your mind, like, well, should I just give it up and then I don't have to? I can go work a 9 to 5. Now I can get you. I was always an admin or administrative assistant. I'm good at that. I can push
Yeah.
the papers. So, but there are those moments that we have where we're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to be that leader for everybody to follow. Like, in the community, everybody's looking up to you and they don't know you have your days of your struggles, and well, you don't want to go outside or you don't want to talk to anybody, but people don't see that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not for them to see. It's for
That's
you
right.
to deal with and go through, and for God to use you in the way that he's supposed to for your assignment in the earth. So,
And I know we're going to go on to the next question, but I don't want to minimize what you just shared. So first, thank you for sharing that,
you're
right?
welcome.
Mhm.
You
You're
just
welcome.
poured out a piece of you, and we definitely appreciate it. And I have a entirely new perspective on all that you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for you to share that and to share how you made it through it, and that it's a continuous journey,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that you now are dealing with that continuous journey, and yet you're pushing on with entrepreneurship, with
Mm-hmm.
church activities, and with nonprofit. I just want to take the moment to commend you,
Oh,
one, for your strength,
Absolutely.
and
thanks.
that it's without a doubt that you are following God at every footstep. So I just want to commend you on that.
And that's what I tell people. Like, we don't go through what we go through for us. It's for
Hmm.
someone else. And
Hmm.
it's unfortunate, we ask God, why us? Why us? And
Yes,
I've always got the answer, why not you? I knew
That's
that you
right.
could handle this, and that.
yes.
So we just have to take it with a grain of salt. And I tell my daughter all the time, I said, it's just life. It's the hand we were dealt. So we have to move forward. We can't sit in that moment. We've got to move forward in it. So.
Mm. Wow.
So I've known you for so very long. We're not even gonna tell our age and say it's like
Right.
15 or more years, but it
There you
is.
go. Yeah.
But as long as I've known you, you've been doing so many different things. And you talked about being led by God and use the word assignment, right? So
Hmm.
we know that with each venture, it's been an assignment. And now you have
Yeah.
another assignment, and that's your desire to help youth entrepreneurs. So tell
Correct.
us a little bit more about that and the purpose behind
So with Prince and Princess for a Day and dealing with Young Men for Christ, I've seen so many young people that want to be entrepreneurs or talk about it. So I've decided to take several entrepreneurs under my wing and show them step by step, from choosing your business name to doing your EIN number to doing the business side comes first for me. That's very important. And I learned that over COVID, trying to help people get the PPP loans and the different things that, oh, y'all were doing fake business. So y'all really won't, like, you know what I'm saying? So that pushed me and drove me even more to let our young people know you have to have the business side of your business together so that you doing your business will actually benefit you. So now you don't have to worry about the IRS because you've done what you're supposed to, and you can get the PPP loan, or you can get, different loans and stuff. You don't have to worry about that because you've done the back end. So I've just had so much joy with these young ladies that I have been helping to start their business, and they are elated. Like, they are really in there gung ho, trying to show them when you spend this, you got to figure out the price point for doing this, like really being in there in the grit with them, helping them out, going with them to open the bank accounts, like everything is a process. And that's where, again, mentoring comes in. Like you don't just do a little bit here and there. When you're mentoring, you're all in. So like a lot of my time now is doing that as opposed to the other stuff. So I do have very little time to do anything sometimes. So
you're always busy, and you talk about
always.
me.
Right. Well, we're one in the same fam. And
There you go. There you
all
go.
of us.
And
all
speaking of other things that we have in common, so we're gonna talk. We're gonna get a little personal, a little more personal with you because we know you're open.
Oh, definitely.
to
definitely.
that. And talk about being divorced.
Okay.
We both gone through divorce.
Yes.
And we know it ain't easy.
Correct.
From
Correct.
the decision all the way through, the process. That
My Lord.
It's really not easy. One of my favorite books during the time of divorce was a book called Deal With It. And it says like you're in the best of times and the worst of times at the same time.
My God.
Hallelujah.
Oh, can we do that on the show? Look,
Yes. So with that being said, tell us more about your journey and the lessons in it. But when you make that choice, it's also a blessing sometimes.
Correct.
So kind of talk to us about that.
Okay. So for those that don't know, I was married 17 and a half years. So and I can't say they were all bad years. Of course, we have those. It's the up and down. Marriage is work. If you're not willing to work and both do it together, then it's not going to work. So that's just kind of like cut dry, really to the point. It just is what it is. Yeah. Struggles of actually making the decision. It took me a minute to make the decision because I was so in church. So I tell people all the time, religion kept me in my marriage for a long time because that's what we were taught. Like we were taught, you stay, you endure, you be submissive. But the whole time, if you're hurting, and for me, I was going in a downward spiral. So I wasn't myself. So I started getting a little depressed, and I was like, what is this? This is not who I am. This is not the person that I know me to be. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of things, towards the end that I did to keep busy because I didn't want to deal with the fact of me thinking, hey, I've been married 17 years. I'm about to let this whole thing go and have to start over again or date or whatever. Like, I did not want to do that at all. So for me, the lessons that I got out of marriage is, always make sure that you're both giving 100. Rob and I say this all the time. People say 50-50. It's really 100-100. Like if we're both all in and we're making sure the other one is good, then, we're going to work it out, make sure, do what we have to do. If it's counseling, if it's whatever it is, making sure that we're both all good, that's what we're going to do. So I've been able to counsel and talk to other people that are married to help them stay married. Have you really done everything that you think possible that you could do to make your marriage work? And if you say no, then you need to go and try to do those things in order to make it work. Now, if it's abusive thing, then that's, something totally different. I tell people all the time. But God shows us different things at different times. Mm-hmm. And all of our assignments, or even if we give prophecy to people, I know it's not always good. And people always want the good in everything. But you got to take the good with the bad. Yeah. So if you've heard that this is what you're supposed to do and you pull against it, of course you're going to have those moments where you're toiling with yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where I was in the end, where I knew it was over, but I didn't want to let it go. But once I did, and I finally fully realized that this is what it was like a weight lifted off of me. It was the freedom of just knowing that I was able to regain my peace back. I was able to focus on me. And people say it sounds selfish, but we do as women, we get so engulfed that we focus on everybody else.
That's right.
And we forget about ourselves. Yes. And so I made it my business. Y'all know me. I'd say rejuvenate, restore, revive. Listen, I'm going to do all of that for me. I'm going to take my mental days now. If I don't want to be bothered, I'm turning the phones off. Like, we really have to do that to be able to pour out as much as we do. So, because people are, how do you do it all the time? Because now I take my mental days. Now I have my peace of mind, and it's really peace, and I have the strength to do, what I need to do.
Yeah.
So, but it's been 3 years. So, it's a totally different ball game out here now.
Girl,
So,
it's been like 15 for me.
I was gonna say, I know I don't have to tell y'all, but it's totally different,
Yeah.
But however, still one of those things we just ask God to guide you. I don't believe in that. People say it's just me and Jesus. Yeah, that's some foolery right there. Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Because I know at one point I used to say, I'm never getting married again. But I had to realize I love love.
Right.
Like I enjoy being in love. So, and I don't mind doing the things I love. I'm a hopeless romantic. So let's go away. Let's do the decorating I'm that person. Let's get somebody and they'll go cook for us like that. I'm that person. So, in the end, I had to realize I do love love. So I'm not opposed to, dating. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are dating now.
I am dating now.
Wait a minute. She was like,
She's like,
I was trying to push my input.
I admitted to a lot of stuff. Am I supposed to admit to that?
Well, dating is just getting to know people.
That's
what we do.
It is.
What we do.
So you're dating now, and introspection is powerful. During your transition, what have you identified as things you look forward to improving in your future relationships?
I look forward to improving communication. That for me was always a big deal, and what I felt like I really couldn't do a lot before. Now it's to the point where if I can't tell you how I feel, no matter what it is, we're not gonna deal because I can't. And I have a smart mouth too, so sometimes I know the way I fire off might be, you got to be a strong person to be able to handle me. But I'm just saying, I can say it with kindness, but it's gonna be a spark in there. You're gonna be like, did she just shoot me? Did she? Why are you laughing, T?
That's me.
But God has created somebody for us that can handle us in our sparks and all, So for me, the biggest thing is communication, being able to truly tell the good, the bad, the ugly, and you be able to take it and not fire at me and make me feel less than. So,
yes, indeed.
Yep.
That's good. That is
wow. So I got 2 questions because you just said a few things that made me want to ask you another question because you are very busy and you do a million things. You're an entrepreneur. Has that been a challenge in dating where you find men that, well, she's doing too much, she ain't gonna have time for me, and so have you run across that?
So the meme that says we make time for what we want to make time for is truly true. And there's one that I posted the other day that says, I don't care that you're busy, just include me.
Ooh,
so if I'm busy, then okay, you're gonna bring me something to eat? Sure. You're busy. Oh, you need me to bring you something to eat? Sure. Sometimes it's the small things, that can overjoy us in a relationship or, in a dating scene. So for me, I probably only had 2 people that were like, yeah, you're too busy for me, but they really didn't take the time to execute as well. So, it wasn't meant to be. So
because you would have made time for them, even if it was being a part of what you were doing.
Definitely.
Right. Or see your execution, right? Because
correct.
She can handle both.
Yeah, because if I'm a community person and we're packing book bags, hey, come pack a book bag.
Yeah.
This is showing me that, hey, he's all in, or help me do this as I'm putting on this event or whatever. That just goes to show that, they're all in. So
yeah, right.
I love it.
So yes.
So my next question is, you have a lot of hashtags, a lot of them, but your main one is "we do this." So
yes.
What does that mean?
So for me, we do this is as entrepreneurs, business people, networking, making sure that we continue to encourage each other. It's whatever is positive in that moment. So if it's me making sure I push your business forward, me making sure I connect you with the right people, whatever the positivity in that arena is, that's what we do this is.
Love it.
So yeah,
We do this.
we do this. Ew.
Well, before we go, we want to make sure that we ask you the question that we always ask everyone.
Okay.
Is it possible with all that you have to balance it all? Love, career, being a parent, all of that. Is it possible?
Most definitely. That's who we are as women. We are able to make sure that everyone in our life have the love at the time that they need it. I know even with my family, everybody's spoiled. So I spoil everybody. So my immediate family, everybody's spoiled. So me going to see my mom, my brother's mad because I didn't come see him. Like everybody, but I give everybody their time too.
Yeah.
So we have the art of balancing it all that's what we do. That's what we were equipped. Our Proverbs 31 women in us, that's what we do. So
I love it. I love
yeah,
it. I love it. Giving
we do.
time in your heart.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much. It has been
You're
such
so
a
welcome.
pleasure
Same here. Thank
sharing
you guys for having me.
sharing your journey. We really, really appreciate it. Tell everyone how they get in touch with you.
You can follow me on Facebook, Shabawanna Wilson, Instagram, Shaba Parker still. I didn't change that one. Or you can call the salon number 919-791-5884 and make your appointment, order your wraps, all of the above.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And we will have that information on our website so that you will be able to link to get in touch with Shab after this show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I love you guys so much.
Thank you for joining us, the audience, for the Art of Balancing It All. Make sure that you visit us on theartofbalancingitall.com. We are everywhere that you listen to podcasts, and make sure you follow us on social media as well.
And make sure we need you too. If you love the show, leave us a rating. Let us know that you're watching. Let us know what you love about the show and let us know what you want us to talk about. Okay.